story tonight. Donald Trump finally made some black friends. Joe Biden has his hand up Cookie Monster's ass. And Jordan Klepper talks to the last Nikki Haley fan. So let's get right into our ongoing coverage of Indecision 2024. Let's kick things off with the race to control the Senate, one of the tightest races in Arizona. And although we don't know who's going to win, we already know who's going to lose.
Breaking news from the nation's capital. Independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona announcing she will not run for re-election.
Polling in the last months has showed her with support of just 15 to 25%, losing to Gallego and Kari Lake. She met the ire of a great many Democrats around the country, refusing to pass filibuster reform that would have allowed for the protection of abortion around the country and to codify Roe v. Wade.
In 2022, Sinema blocked a critical spending bill to protect a tax break for the ultra-wealthy.
That's right, Senator Kyrsten Sinema is stepping down to spend more time with her family, Goldman and Sachs. And I love how she says she's not running for re-election in Arizona like it's her choice. Totally not because you're going to get your ass kicked. That's like me saying, hey guys, I'm not going to be QBing for the Patriots this year. Guess what? Nobody offered. It's also funny how people usually like independents in this very tribal political climate. You know, you have to be a real shitty politician if you're independent and everybody hates you. Me, personally, I actually like that Kyrsten Sinema taught everyone a very important lesson, that you can't assume someone's beliefs based on how they dress. She came on the scene like, hey, everyone, look at my pink tutu. You know I'm liberal. And then she walks into the Senate like, private equity gets everything. Drill those orphans for oil. But let's move on to the presidential race. And the voters, the politicians, never forget every time they need to win an election. African Americans, a.k.a. black people. In 2020, Trump only got 12% of the black vote. But this year, polls show that he could double that number. And now, there might be a way for him to win over black voters without actually having to meet any.
There are growing concerns about the way artificial intelligence could be used to mislead voters ahead of this year's US election. It's emerged that some supporters of the former President Donald Trump are creating and sharing fake images of him with black people to encourage African Americans to back him in November's election.
At first glance, this photo looks real, only it's not. It was generated using AI technology.
The image was generated by Trump supporters using AI to target black voters. But this picture has been viewed more than 1 million times.
Wow, it took the most cutting-edge technology to get Trump to hang out with 6 black guys. This is outrageous. You're telling me I've been wasting my time building real friendships with black people, a.k.a. African Americans, when the whole time I could have just used AI and gotten the same number of likes? But seriously, I can't believe these photos would actually swing some votes. I mean, if we're going to be this easily manipulated by AI, let's just let AI vote for us instead. I mean, at this point, we need to be smarter. I mean, I'm not going to vote for Trump just because I saw a picture of him with a bunch of Asian guys. Although, I mean, they do look like they're having fun. I mean, I wonder what they're talking about. I mean, damn, maybe it does help a little. But still, I know people are worried about misinformation, but it's pretty easy to tell if a picture of Donald Trump is AI generated. Okay, here's the trick. If Donald Trump is in a picture and looks completely insane, then it's a real picture. Like, look at this picture. Trump hanging out with black guys. This is AI because it's too normal to be real. But now this photo of him with black people, this is weird. That's how you know it's real. Is that confusing? All right, okay, how about this one? Trump with black people having a good time at a party. This is a pretty normal human activity. Therefore, this is AI. But Kanye in the Oval Office shoving his phone into Trump's face? I mean, what the is even happening here? This is too insane to be real, and that's how you know it's real. There's also other tells, like, check the skin tone. Does his face look like a normal human? Then it's probably AI. Does his face look like a dish sponge after a chili night? Then it's real. So that's the rule. Is he smiling in front of 3,000 hamburgers? Is he staring directly into a solar eclipse? Is he touching a glowing orb with Middle East dictators? Then it's real. I hope that clarifies things. But while Donald Trump is trying to get the vote of black people, Joe Biden is trying to get the vote of cheap people. I mean, have you been to a grocery store lately and noticed your bag of chips has had 2 fewer chips than it used to? Well, Joe Biden has noticed.
Shrinkflation is just one of the pocketbook issues that could find its way into the State of the Union address on Thursday. Today, the White House is announcing a new strike force tasked with cracking down on price gouging, and everything from groceries to prescription drugs is on the list.
Shrinkflation is when companies make the size of their products smaller without cutting prices. The size of some Oreo cookies has decreased by 6% since 2019, and a family size of Wheat Thins has dropped 12% in weight. Even some Charmin toilet paper rolls now have 20 fewer sheets.
Guys, okay, boo. Hey, listen, this is such an American crisis, okay? Oh no, my Costco sack of Oreos only has 15 pounds instead of 16. And now when I shit my pants, there isn't enough toilet paper to clean my fat ass. Yeah, you know, guys, you know what's not shrinkflating? It's celery, okay? Maybe you should try it sometime. By the way, if we're going to complain about toilet paper, let's talk about how every time I buy the toilet paper, it's like, hey, there's 8 rolls, but they're mega, so it's 10 rolls, but really it's actually 8 rolls again. Just tell me how many rolls there are and stop making me do math at CVS. And look, I do think it's a good political issue for Joe Biden to focus on. Because do you really think Americans will go to the polls to protect democracy? Hell no. But if you promise to restore the number of sprinkles on the Pop-Tarts, record turnout. And luckily for Joe Biden, he's now getting help from an ally who speaks to young voters. And I mean really young voters.
This morning, the Cookie Monster has had enough.
Chocolate chip cookie important to me, too.
His beef with shrinkflation is getting attention on Capitol Hill after he posted, quote, "Me hate shrinkflation. Me cookies are getting smaller."
Okay, you know what? There's a real depth of expertise in this country, so I can appreciate when we can hear from someone who knows what he's talking about, all right? For more on Cookie Monster speaking out, we go live to Sesame Street to our newest member of the Daily Show news team, Josh Johnson, everybody. Josh, what do you think about Cookie Monster's battle with shrinkflation?
What do I think? I think Cookie Monster is being a little blue bitch, all right? Why does he care about the price of cookies? Have you seen the way he eats them? Half of them end up on the floor. If the cookies were smaller, maybe they managed to get into his mouth. Me no like inflation. Stop talking like that. You live on Sesame Street. How are you still doing remedial English?
Okay. Josh, look, I love hating stuff too, but aren't you being a little too hard on Mr. Monster? He's trying to fight shrinkflation.
Oh, you're telling me that Cookie Monster just brought up shrinkflation the same week as Biden on his own? The only words I've ever heard Cookie Monster say are me and cookie. Who taught him shrinkflation? Like, I don't want to start any rumors, but I'm starting to think Cookie Monster is just a puppet.
Okay. Look, that's crazy talk, Josh. Okay, stop the conspiracy theories. Whether he is or not, shrinkflation is real, okay? And it's not just cookies. It's chips, soda, toilet paper.
Explain to me why Cookie Monster cares about toilet paper. He doesn't have a digestive system. He's never taken a shit in his life. He doesn't know the pain of sitting on a toilet with a stomach full of lamb curry, running out of paper, and having to sidestep your way out, doing the pants around the ankle waddle, like you robbing your own house, only for your girlfriend to walk in, see you, then immediately walk out. Do you have to deal with that, Mr. Cookie Monster? Because me did. Me very much did.
Yeah, but why didn't you just take off your pants completely? Oh, you know what? Never mind. I think it's great that Cookie Monster's bringing attention to an actual problem here, okay?
It's not even the biggest problem on Sesame Street. Oscar is still homeless. Trump's about to deport Rosita and Snuffleupagus, he in a gang. I'm not gonna lie, Ryan, it's pretty messed up that you sent me here, all right? I saw Elmo selling tickles for $5 outside Big Bird Nest. No one here is doing well.
All right, Josh, let's get you out of there.
Hey, hold up. Do you have $5?
No, Josh Johnson, everybody.